Now at 5, the ballots are counted and voters deliver some election surprises, like the new Shelby County DA. We'll dig deeper on Steve Mulroy's big win. Plus, more than $10,000 worth of alcohol stolen at a Memphis liquor store last night, how many were involved, and what the owner is trying to do to prevent it from happening again. And with the new school year fast approaching, one mom is raising awareness about bullying and just how severe it can become. ABC 24 News at 5 starts right now. Well, thanks for joining us first at 5 on this Friday. You may be seeing some rain and hearing some thunder right now. Let's start things off with Chief Meteorologist John Bryant on what the radar is showing. I think I saw a lot of red on the radar a moment ago.
Yes, there's a lot of red, and it is active for a lot of people, especially inside the heart of the 240 loop. Right now, we have some heavy rain and even a flood advisory as this has come down in buckets. In some places, this thunderstorm is just not moving much. Let's zoom in a little bit closer because it has dumped over an inch of rain. You see all the red here. Let me zoom in a little bit closer. Here's Memphis International Airport. Here's the southern leg of 240 right here. Lamar is right here. The purple, we've even had some reports of small hail in here also. And north Memphis in the Binghamton area, sliding down to Binghamton anyway, seeing some heavy rain. Not as heavy out east, but we are expecting more to fall. Again, some areas have already seen over an inch. If you want to pop up at TDOT in the booth, any of them, on the southern leg of 240, traffic is an absolute mess with this. You don't want to be going out. Like I said, flooded. Look at this. I mean, at least everybody's going slow, but let the storm pass. Much more on this still developing situation coming up later in the broadcast.
Getting right at rush hour on a Friday. Nice timing there. Okay, well, our top story now, a changing of the guard at Shelby County's top prosecutor. Democrat Steve Mulroy is taking over as Shelby County DA when he's sworn in next month. Now, this comes after a resounding double-digit election night victory over Republican incumbent Amy Wyrick. His win means a different management and philosophy of how to address public safety as well as punishment. Brad Broders is here in the studio now. Brad, the election is over, so now what?
Well, Richard, to criminal justice reform advocates, Mulroy's win gives new hope to new ideas and a different vision of how cases are tried and defendants are held. For years, criminal justice reforms were a main focus for those with the Memphis Interfaith Coalition for Action and Hope, or MICA. Among their goals, creating a conviction review unit, cutting down on juvenile transfers to adult system, and lowering bonds for some nonviolent offenses. MICA leaders admit while those proposals are a lot to tackle, if Mulroy can at least implement some of them, they believe it will go a long way in making the justice system more just.
With us having a new DA, it gives us the opportunity to have somebody obviously with new ideas, somebody who's going to come in with fresh eyes into the position. And so that's always a good working point for us.
Local political analysts believe Mulroy's honeymoon won't last long, especially with recent high-profile cases. Next month, Mulroy will decide on whether to rescind Amy Wyrick's recommendation to try the accused 15-year-old killers of Reverend Atora Eason Williams as adults.
We really don't know yet what will happen with Mr. Mulroy, who is a law professor and never managed an office like the DA's office. How will that happen? What will happen there?
Now, Mulroy takes over as Shelby County District Attorney September 1st. Richard?
What did Mulroy tell supporters last night as far as what they can expect with him as the new top prosecutor?
Well, Steve Mulroy promised that the Shelby County DA's office would be a model for reform. And though he conceded reducing violent crime won't happen overnight, he promised to make local streets safer through his leadership. In the studio, I'm Brad Broders.
Well, it was a late night for election results, not only in Shelby County, but really across Tennessee. Now all the races are counted, though, so let's jump right into some of the results for you, starting with the Democratic primary in the governor's race. The race was too close to call until just a few hours ago, but Nashville area doctor Jason Martin is declared the winner. With 99% of votes counted, Dr. Martin has a lead of less than 1,500 votes over Memphis City Councilman J.B. Smiley, Carnita Atwater, also of Memphis, claiming 22% of the votes. Tennessee does not have an automatic recount for close races, but candidates can contest the results, which could lead to a recount. In the Shelby County clerk's race, incumbent Wanda Halbert managed to win re-election despite controversy over a huge license plate backlog. Halbert received 49% of the vote, while her Republican opponent, Jeff Jacobs, got 41%, and independent Harold Smith ending the night with 10%. Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris won re-election with 58% of the vote. A big win for him. He was facing Republican Worth Morgan. This will be Harris's second four-year term as mayor. The only referendum on the ballot asked Memphians if there should be an increase in term limits. Voters overwhelmingly denying that idea. The referendum failed by 66%, just as they have twice before. Memphis voters do not want to extend term limits for their mayor or city council, and that means Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland will not be seeking re-election. He said he would if the referendum had passed, but Memphis voters say 2 terms is enough, Mayor. Thank you very much. We're keeping an eye on developing news near Corinth, Mississippi tonight as well. 4 men, we just saw them there, are on the run after escaping the troubled Alcorn County Jail, and they may be in the Memphis area. Take a look at your screen here. From left to right, they're identified as Antonio Reyes, Landon Broadway, Hunter Wigington, and Samuel Sims. Reyes was arrested and charged with capital murder, by the way. Police say the inmates cut a hole in the roof of the jail and got out. If you see them, call police right away. Memphis police are trying to catch whoever broke into one of the city's best-known liquor stores overnight. They left lots of damage at Buster's Liquors and Wines on Poplar and Highland in East Memphis and made off with thousands of dollars worth of stuff. 911 dispatchers got a call around 3:30 this morning and said MPD is looking for about 15 guys who got away in several different cars. Owner Josh Hammond says he and other store owners want to work together to put a stop to these kinds of burglaries.
Pretty confidently we'll be banding together and getting a reward put together to see that a lot of these individuals get arrested. Folks know who they are.
A reward could soon be announced for any information leading to an arrest. If you know anything that could help police, please call the Crime Stoppers number at 901-528-CASH. The Biden administration has declared monkeypox a public health emergency with nearly 7,000 cases across the country now. The CDC says nearly 1.7 million people in the U.S. are now eligible for the monkeypox vaccine. The problem is the demand for that vaccine outweighs the supply right now. So far, about 600,000 doses have gone out nationwide, with more expected in the coming weeks. The White House response team says the public health emergency declaration will help them secure more resources.
The public health emergency adds extra tools to our toolbox, allows us to speed up vaccines further, allows us to unlock new funding. So there are a lot of good reasons to do the public health emergency now.
The virus is primarily spread through skin-to-skin contact. Monkeypox is rarely fatal and symptoms usually go away on their own. Most cases have been among men who have sex with other men, but doctors stress anyone can get this virus. 5 children, in fact, in the U.S. have been infected. Well, so far in Tennessee, there are 40 cases reported statewide. Only 4 of those are in Shelby County. The Tennessee Department of Health has a website set up for their response to monkeypox. You can find information on the virus, where to get tested, and forms to fill out if you test positive on that website. Well, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and its volunteers help so many sick children all across the country. If you are looking to support their mission, volunteer registration is now open for the big Memphis Marathon weekend. There are thousands of volunteer spots for a variety of ages and skill sets for December 1st through the 3rd. Over the past 20 years, the Memphis Marathon weekends have raised more than $100 million for St. Jude, bringing in thousands of runners from all over the world for what is the city's biggest foot race. Well, next week is National Farmers Market Week, and one local farmers market wants to make sure Memphians know where their food is coming from. The AgriCenter Farmers Market at Shelby Farms welcomes Mid-South farmers to sell their stock. From fresh produce to flowers, farmers can get direct support from the community.
A lot of people in this area, you know, they come and support the local growers here, so which is us, and yeah, we appreciate everybody that comes out here.
The AgriCenter Farmers Market is open Monday through Saturday from 8 until 5. Well, coming up on the news at 5 is kids head back to the classroom, a mother's plea to fight against school bullying, why it means so much to her, and how she's fighting back. Next. Now to keeping your child safe as they head back to school. Bullying continues to be a problem everywhere, and these days it's not just at school. In fact, online bullying through social media or what have you can be the most harmful. Tonight, Brittany Clemens shares one mom's plea to others about the dangers of bullying.
One is losing a child to suicide, one is losing a friend to suicide, and one is the fact that you're affected by suicide.
Cheryl Hudson lost her 12-year-old son to suicide. She says he was her best friend.
He was always laughing, always trying to be the clown. His entire thing was just trying to make people laugh. He was very caring. He was just a phenomenal kid.
But in 2018, Andrew's life was cut short. His mother says he was bullied to death by a group of classmates.
You go into the restroom and they tell him things like, you know, you can't be in here, we're going to put our hands on you, you're not going to make it out of here without being hurt. They'd put his head in the urinal, things like that.
No child should have to fear going to school because of the clothes they wear or the color of their skin. And with the new school year ahead, Cheryl is pleading with parents to instill kindness in their children.
It's so important for parents to talk to their kids and explain that it is not okay to treat another human being as though they're just a piece of trash. It doesn't take anything to be a kind human being.
It's a lesson that could save a life. Reporting, I'm Brittany Clemens.
Doctors say bullying can also lead to depression and anxiety. And parents, you can help keep your child safe by downloading the Safe TN app. It allows you to anonymously report incidents like violence or bullying. Well, school is starting in next week all over the Mid-South, and Millington schools say they're preparing to give students a great learning experience. The district says it will provide teachers and students with a safe and productive environment, which will give them the opportunity to maximize their potential.
We want to provide teachers with growth opportunities as well as students with growth opportunities. We're a big family out here, and so I think that's important, creating that family atmosphere, and that's going to help with their teacher retention rate.
Millington says its #1 goal this school year is to keep students and staff safe. With new opportunities like dual enrollment and new clubs and sports, Millington school administrators say they cannot wait to open their doors for the new year. We want to celebrate your child's first day of school, so we've been asking you to send in their pictures so we can share them. You're taking a look at Callie West. She's a kindergartner at Memphis School of West, and she's excited to be back in the swing of things for the school year, as you can tell. Be sure to send us your child's back-to-school picture. All you have to do is text it to us at 901. You see the number there at the bottom of your screen, 901-321-7520. John.
All right, we've got a serious situation going on in Shelby County right now. Flood advisory could be upgraded to a flood warning. This storm is pretty much going to have to rain itself out. It's not moving much near Midtown and the airport. And here's Orange Mound right here. So this is some heavy rain during rush hour, a mess on the roads. We're back after this short break.
Right now, the Mid-South certified most accurate forecast.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm John Bryant. Rain chances, it's pouring now in parts of the city. They're going to go down after sunset. A hot and humid weekend, and scattered storms are going to be possible both Saturday and Sunday. Look at this storm. I mean, it is right. It popped up right over DeSoto and Shelby County. It's not moving much at all, and that's why I am concerned about flooding. There is a flood advisory until 7:45 tonight for this cell. National Weather Service is talking about upgrading this to a flash flood warning. I was just checking satellite imagery, and it looks like it's trying to weaken a bit, but it's just not moving, and it is dumping heavy rains in the Midtown area, U of M. Here's Memphis International Airport right here. North Memphis seeing some pretty heavy rains, and this is going to continue. I think this cell is just going to have to rain itself out as it continues to drift slowly to the west. There's Orange Mound, some rain there. Chickasaw Gardens area, some very heavy rain. So Poplar and Highland basically right in the heart of the city of Memphis, or Jackson Avenue. Out east, the rain is lighter. Once you go east of 240, there's not as much activity. But if you are in this area here inside the 240 loop, expect flooding. I would be careful if I'm going to be out driving over the next hour. There is a flood advisory until 7:45. Hopefully this cell will continue to weaken, and hopefully that satellite imagery I was analyzing will show a weakening trend. Thankfully, not that many power outages from this cell, at least not right now. There is going to be a chance of rain at any point overnight, but the chances for rain really go down after about 8 o'clock. Heat index numbers this weekend will be just below 105, and temperatures will be in the low to mid 90s for the next several days. And here we go with the futurecast. Notice it does take those rain chances away after about 8, 9 o'clock tonight. Still can't rule out a pop-up shower this weekend. Rain chances aren't going to be as high as they were yesterday and today. But notice the pop-up storms could occur tomorrow afternoon, mid-afternoon. We'll be in the mid-90s. It's going to be a hot day. It's going to be a hot weekend and a humid one. The only way you may cool down is if you receive one of these cooling showers. All right, now let's go into Sunday. This is Saturday night. Notice shouldn't be any problems. We're in that pattern where when these storms pop up, they tend to go away after sunset. Sunset tomorrow is going to be before 8 o'clock. The days are really starting to become shorter. That's Sunday afternoon. Notice pop-up storms both days. So just be aware and be ready to act quickly. And temperatures will be in the 80s, almost 90 at noon tomorrow, 92 at 2 o'clock. 7-day forecast shows mid-90s through the weekend. Next week, low 90s with mid-70s at night. And we will see more storm chances next week. So the drought may be coming to an end. Hey, a new jobs report came out this morning. How the economy is looking amid record inflation. That's coming up.
New numbers released today show the U.S. job market added more than 500,000 jobs in July. That's twice what economists expected, showing a two-faced economy. On one hand, you have some of the best jobs numbers in decades, and while wages are climbing, Americans continue to deal with record costs of living. All this as Senate Democrats work on an Inflation Reduction Act. ABC's Justin Finch in Washington.
After weeks of working to solidify party-wide support, Senate Democrats are on track to vote on the Inflation Reduction Act.
This is a very, very, very big deal.
Last on board, moderate Democrat Kyrsten Sinema, seen speaking with fellow moderate Joe Manchin on the Senate floor Tuesday. Manchin also slow to support the measure, later confirming they spoke about the bill. Now Senate Republicans are slamming them both.
They're empowering legislation that will make the average person's life more difficult.
The Democrats are at it again, trying to raise taxes and increase government spending at a time of high inflation and a time of recession.
But the president says the bill will help ease financial burdens many Americans now face.
This bill is a game changer for working families and our economy.
The wide-ranging package would mark the nation's largest ever investment in climate change, is expected to help lower healthcare premiums and prescription costs, and would increase taxes on big corporations and the most wealthy.
Put simply, this legislation will save lives, create jobs, reduce costs, and reduce inflation. Just what the American people want.
Sinema's sign-on comes after striking agreements to secure drought funding for her home state, Arizona, and scaling back some of the inflation bill's tax proposals, including a $14 billion tax increase on wealthy hedge fund managers and a new tax minimum for corporations. The Senate parliamentarian is spending today reviewing the bill, verifying it meets qualifications for a simple majority vote, requiring all 50 Democrats and the vice president to vote in favor in Saturday's scheduled session. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
We'll keep it here. John will have another look at the 7-day forecast in just a moment.
New information for you tonight. National Weather Service has upgraded the flood advisory to a flash flood warning. Remember, heat and flood. Heat's the #1 killer. Flooding is second, and it is still raining. Orange Mound has received almost over 2 inches of rain. This is also near Lamar and 240. Again, flash flood warning until 8:30 tonight for these areas just north of Memphis International Airport. Richard?
Thank you, Donna, thank you for joining us at 5. We'll see you in 30 minutes. ABC's World News Tonight is next.